This is the final topic during my visit here to the, whatever you want to call it, Detroit metropolitan area. And the topic is in response to a question that someone asked in relation to the Brahma Vimohan Leela. Brahma Vimohan Leela is the pastime where Brahma became very bewildered by the display of Krishna's transcendental potencies. And, many things happened in the course of that pastime, but Balaram was covered by Krishna's Yogamaya potency to such a degree that for 1 year, Balaram didn't understand that Krishna had manifested himself as each of the calves and cowherd boys. And then towards the end of the year, Krishna drew back the Yogamaya curtain and Balaram began to understand, oh, this is what's going on. So there was a question. If Balaram is covered by Krishna's Yogamaya potency, is Krishna ever covered by his Yogamaya potency? Which would sound like, if the answer was yes, it would sound like there's something above Krishna. Yogamaya potency is above Krishna and covers Krishna. So that's certainly not the case. So what is the case? That's the topic. And I spoke on this topic during our Gita Nagari retreat. Now I just embellished it a little bit. Because during the Gita Nagari retreat, the topic was Krishna in Braja, or Krishna in Vrindavan. And the co-speaker, along with myself, was, who was it? Garuda. I remember just checking to see if everyone's tuned in. Garuda Prabhu spoke on a section of the 10th Canto Bhagavatam, Krishna in Vrindavan, dealing with Krishna's rasa dance. And the very first verse of the 5 chapters states specifically, Krishna decided to enter into his Yogamaya potency. He voluntarily entered into his Yogamaya potency. That is to say, what's the Yogamaya potency? That's, he wrote a book on the topic and spoke about it to some degree during this weekend, or that Memorial Day weekend. What's Yogamaya? And Yogamaya, he shared with me, a paragraph that comes from his book, one of his books on the pastime of Rasa Leela. And if Krishna entered into and accepted the shelter of ashraya, is the phrase, he took shelter of his Yogamaya potency. What's the Yogamaya potency? How are we to understand that? So it's a potency by which, it's a very simple definition. He sent me a paragraph, just cut and paste from his book. But he said I can't share it, so don't ask me to share it. Because he wants people to buy his book. It's the potency by which Krishna enters into intimacy of loving dealings with his beloveds. He uses the word beloveds. It means all the devotees of Braja. It's a potency by which Krishna engages in loving dealings with the residents of Vrindavan. It's his potency. And he, in the case of the rasa dance, he decided to enter into his Yogamaya potency and be under the influence. Now, he's the controller of everything, including his Yogamaya potency, but he took shelter there. So that's one example, but then here's another example that's on the screen here. Krishna chose to become bewildered by his Yogamaya potency. And an explanation in advance so that you get the picture, then we'll say it again in further slower motion. There are five primary rasas. Rupa Goswami has taught us 5 primary rasas. You're familiar? Really? You must know. You know. Neutrality, Shanta. Dasya, servitorship. Dasya. Friendship. Krishna has some coward boyfriends. Sakya. Like Arjuna is his friend also. Sakya, friendship. That's 3. Neutrality, servitorship, friendship, parental affection. Vatsalya, Mother Jasoda and Nanda and the elders, parental affection. And conjugal love, 5. 5 primary, and according to Rupa Goswami, there's lengthy discussion about this. But then there's 7 secondary. How much is 5 plus 7? Oh, come on. 12. 7 secondary. So Krishna wanted to experience 2 of the 7 secondary rasas, and one of them is astonishment, adbhuta, astonishment. It's a secondary rasa. The nature, the science of rasa, there's many details, but one of the principles of the science of rasa is sometimes the secondary rasa rises, it covers or eclipses the primary rasa, and it takes prominence, and then it subsides. All the while, the primary rasa is there, but it's not being exhibited as much as the secondary rasa. So it's eclipses. Wow. Primary and secondary rasa. So there's a secondary rasa of astonishment when Krishna sees something that goes against his will, and he's what? He experiences an emotion, astonishment. And then he realizes, oh, this is my Yogamaya potency, knowing that I want to experience this secondary rasa. So Krishna allowed that my Yogamaya potency arranged it. And then there's another of the 7 secondary rasas that's compassion or mercy, karuna rasa. You've heard that word before, right? Karuna, compassion. When the cowherd boys enter the mouth of the Aghasura demon, he feels something. Compassion. Oh no, they shouldn't be in this. This is a demon that wants to kill them, and they've entered into the jaws of death personified. So he wants to do something, inspired by that emotion. The primary rasa is still there. The secondary rasa becomes very prominent, and that's the work of Yogamaya. It amplifies or accelerates or increases in degree a secondary rasa. So that's happened. So we're going to hear the pastime. This little logo over here. That's that's my app for the Agasura chapter. Where's that noise? Back. Okay, in the back. Okay. Because not that boy. He doesn't make that noise. He used to, but he doesn't do that anymore. Okay. So this is from the Agasura pastime. This is chapter 12 of Canto 10. So here's a little explanation, because our acharyas in ISKCON, I've grown up in ISKCON being used to hearing Yogamaya, Yogamaya, Yogamaya. And our acharyas commonly use Lila Shakti, Lila Shakti, Lila Shakti. So I had this nice discussion with Garuda. What's the relationship between Yogamaya and Lila Shakti? Because our acharyas use this and Prabhupada uses that, so which is it? And what's the relationship? And there was this is explanation. Lila Shakti is a potency or energy, Shakti, derived from Yogamaya. So it's like an instrument. It's an extension of the mama is Yogamaya, and she has a little baby. The baby is Lila Shakti. The instrument through whose function is, both function of both is the same. So in one sense, they're synonymous. They can be used interchangeably, but they don't exactly mean the same thing, because the instrument isn't one wielding the instrument. Yogamaya is wielding the instrument, and the instrument is Lila Shakti. The energy or potency by which Yogamaya acts. And what's the function? Both have the same function. Facilitating various activities of the Supreme Person. So they're facilitators of, Shaktis of. Facilitating all arrangements for the loving exchanges between Krishna and his beloveds, etc. So beloveds can mean the gopis, and it can mean all the associates. So here's some examples. Would you like some examples? Say yes. Okay. Here's an example. You know, the pastime of killing of Putana. So she had some mystic powers. She could fly in the sky, and she could do different shape changes, and she could do different things. But Krishna used his Yogamaya potency to liberate her, and when she came crashing to the ground, look in the background of this painting, there's the village. She fell conveniently outside of the village. She didn't crush any houses. You know how big her body was? 12 miles long. 12 miles long. 12 miles long. That's a big body. But so Krishna exhibited his Yogamaya potency to destroy her. And here's another example. That's Mother Yasoda looking inside Krishna's mouth. One of two pastimes where she looked into Krishna's mouth and she saw the universe. Now that's Yogamaya. And not only she saw the whole universe inside Krishna's mouth, but she saw herself looking inside Krishna's mouth. Pretty good, huh? Krishna's a good magician. And that's Yogamaya. Or another nice example, something that we celebrate every year for a whole month, is the Damodar Leela. And the Yogamaya potency, in this case, was each time she got more rope to bind Krishna, it was always 2 inches too short. She got more, 150 feet of rope, the commentary says, around the waist of a boy whose waist is the size of my fist, And it's always 2 inches too short. Yogamaya. Because he can extend his potency as he according to his volition. And then, the impossible becomes possible by the agency of Yogamaya, because nothing is impossible for Krishna, and he does the impossible through his potencies. And then the Leela changed when he did allow her to bind him, because there was another pastime. That's the deliverance of Nala Kuvera and Manigriva, the 2 Arjuna trees in the backyard of Nanda Maharaj. So these are examples. And there's many, many, many others. He continuously moves from divinity, like showing the universe, everything is existing within him, to the little boy pastime. He moves effortlessly, seamlessly between the two. His Aishvarya and his Madhurya. So we also mentioned this Brahma Vimohan Leela, and what Krishna showed to Lord Brahma was his Yogamaya potency. He showed all of his potencies. He revealed all of his not all of his potencies. The unlimitedness of his potencies was all revealed to Lord Brahma. So now we're going to chapter 12. And this is going to reveal how Krishna became influenced by his own Yogamaya potency, or Leela Shakti. So here's a nice painting. And the painting, you see Krishna's holding his hand up because he doesn't want the cowherd boys to go inside the mouth of this wicked demon. And there they go. Not only they're going, they're gone. And he doesn't say stop. But he doesn't have to say anything. He just, one of the features of Krishna is, there are 2 ways of saying, at least 2. Icha Shakti or Satya Sankalpa Shakti. Icha means, Icha, desire. So he desires something, and voila, it happens because he desired it. His energies, he doesn't have to say anything, just have a desire, and it happens because his energies know what his desires are, and his energies fulfill his desires. Icha Shakti. And there's another term that means the same thing, it's just a little bit longer. Satya Sankalpa Shakti. Satya. Now, Satya is a nice girl's name. I know several girls named Satya. What does Satya mean? Truth. Very good. So, truth becomes fact when Krishna desires it. He desires something, it's a fact, it's Satya. And Sankalpa means his intention. So his intention may be whatever his intention is. You have to slide the door. There you go. Satya Sankalpa Shakti. So it's a Shakti, it's a potency where he desires something, and so it is. It means the same thing, Icha Shakti. And that's how he does. For example, Krishna lifted Govardhan Hill. And what did he do to lift Govardhan Hill? One-handed. Not only one-handed, his left hand. Not only his left hand, but his little finger of his left hand. And not only lifted the hill, but he held it up in the air for 7 days and 7 nights. Such a sankalpa. And he could lift Govardhan Hill without lifting Govardhan Hill. Just like desire, Govardhan Hill, please lift. And there's Govardhan Hill up in the air. He doesn't have to hold it with his hand. But it's a pastime. So he's desiring the cowherd boys don't go inside the mouth of the demon, but there they go. So here's the verse from chapter 12, text 25. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, who is situated as Antaryami, the Super Soul, in the core of everyone's heart, heard the boys talking among themselves about the artificial python. Because when they came, playing, then they see this giant thing in the pathway, because in the forest there's also paths, because they would walk up and down daily, so there's little paths. So there's this giant python, and they thought it's a playground. Oh, how nice, somebody made a playground for us. And as they got closer, they saw maybe it's not a playground after all. Maybe it's a demon that wants to kill us because the eyes are moving. And there's hot, smelly air coming out of his mouth, the bodies of living entities that the python has swallowed. And maybe he wants to swallow us too. But so the boys were having a debate. Is it this or is it that? Unknown, next verse. Unknown to them, it was actually Aghasura, a demon, who appeared as a python. Krishna, knowing this, wanted to forbid his associates to enter the demon's mouth. There's a special price for the balcony seat. You better save room for the next person who wants to come up there. Okay. So now comes some commentary. Jiva Goswami is going to explain what's going on. Knowing it was not only a python, but the Rakshasa named Agha, since he, Krishna, was in everyone's heart as Paramatma, was the inspiration for all things, and was endowed with the powers of Bhagavan, he, Krishna, wanted to prevent them. He's all-powerful, so piece of cake, right? So he goes on, Jiva Goswami goes on in his Sandarbha, that some of you know a little bit about Jiva Goswami. And I like Jiva Goswami a lot. He's there's a few personalities, especially, and he's one of them. And there's 6 Sandarbhas. The number 6 is Preeti. It's like the icing on the cake. There's Bhakti Sandarbha and then Preeti Sandarbha. So in Preeti Sandarbha, he gives the following example. When Ramachandra entered the forest and Lakshmana was also absent, the worst of the Rakshasas, Ravana, kidnapped Sita Devi, the daughter of the king of Videha, just as a tiger seizes unprotected sheep when the shepherd is absent. You all know the pastime. Ravana kidnapped Sita. So what did Ram do? Then Lord Ramachandra wandered in the forest with his brother Lakshmana as if very much distressed due to separation from his wife. That he's omniscient. When he went to looking for the deer, he knew what was going to go on. He knew the script. It's his script. And sure enough, he gave Lakshman the order, and Lakshman violated his order because Sita insulted him, etc., etc. So Lakshman's gone. And Ravana came and kidnapped Sita. And he's looking for Sita. Like Vipralamba Bhav, right? Love and separation. Looking, completely distressed. Lakshman trying to cheer him up. We'll find her. Let's keep going. Don't lose courage. It's a rasa. It's a pastime with an emotion, the secondary emotion, secondary rasa, is being facilitated by his Lila Shakti, or Yogamaya potency. And there's some Dharma lesson involved along with rasa lesson. The Dharma lesson is you become overly attached, you're going to have a problem. And sure enough, though internally Ram was controlled by prema, externally he announced the result for persons who freely associate with women by performing actions of indifference. Interesting. Similarly, how he concludes, in manifesting pastimes, he, the personality of Godhead, is absorbed in human actions or human-like actions with intense prema for his devotees. Sometimes the Lord shows bewilderment contrary to his omniscience. Sometimes. So how's that bewilderment? He's bewildered. Ramachandra was bewildered. Krishna was bewildered. Wait a minute, the cowherd boys went inside the mouth of the Aghasura, and Aghasura is death personified. Oh no! But that bewilderment is a good quality. It's not a fault, since it bestows happiness and priti to the wise. Like those of us that are wise, and we're hearing this pastime, we appreciate how much affection Krishna has for the cowherd boys. Now he's going to take care of the problem, no problem. It's an apparent problem for which he has a spike of affection. His bewilderment supports the sweetness of his pastimes. He accepts this bewilderment by his will. For those of you that came a little bit late, it's okay. Our host wanted to start at 7, and I said 6:30. So don't blame them, blame me. And my reason for this was, there's multiple reasons, but I won't give all those multiple. I have an early flight tomorrow morning, and I wasn't going to do the late night. So people come when they can come, and that's it. So the topic is, is it possible for Krishna to be bewildered, for Krishna to become bewildered by his Yogamaya potency? Because that would sound like Yogamaya potency is up here and Krishna's down there. And the answer is, yes, he can be bewildered, but it's by his will. That's what's down here. He accepted this bewilderment by his will. And what was arranging it? His Leela Shakti, or his Yogamaya potency. Let's hear. Next verse. In the meantime, while Krishna was considering how to stop them, all the cowherd boys entered the mouth of the demon. The demon, however, did not swallow them, for he was thinking of his own relatives who had been killed by Krishna, and was just waiting for Krishna to enter his mouth. So he had some relatives. Aghasura had 2 relatives, at least 2, probably more. You want to volunteer the names? You're just stretching, playing basketball. The young fellow behind you. He had a sister and a brother. His sister was Putana. The first demon killed by Krishna was Putana, female. Same as the first demon killed by Ramachandra was a female. It's not like he has something against females, just part of the pastime. And you know, it's against dharma to kill a woman, to harm a woman, what to speak of kill a woman, but he did it. And there's a reason why he did it, and we won't go into all of that just now. So that was one of his relatives, and the other relative was Bakasura. Baka, the crane, big baka, big beak, big demon. And Krishna had killed Bakasura and Putana, and Agasura knew it. He wanted to get back. So when Kamsa sent him to go kill Krishna, he was happy. He was rubbing his hands together saying, yes, yes, yes. And not only I can do what he wants, because he's my master, but I can get back. So he waited for Krishna to enter his mouth. He didn't close his mouth. Then comes a question. Wait a minute. This is the same question again. There's Krishna's desire. And Krishna, this is Vishwanath, Sanatan Goswami, Jiva Goswami, they're all in chorus saying the same thing. Just as he desired and decided to stop them, the boys, along with the calves, entered the snake's mouth. Does this mean that Krishna's Satya Sankalpa Shakti, through which his every wish is fulfilled, did not work? That's not what it means. Because there's a balancing other desire, that's the cowherd boys. The devotees, cowherd boys, had the desire. If we go in the serpent's mouth, will he swallow us? If he swallows us, our friend will kill him as he did Baka. Let's go. And so who wins, Krishna or his cowherd boyfriends? Krishna subordinates his desire to his, of the two desires, the desire of the devotee prevails. Why? Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, who's a Rasika, Bhakta, and commentator, writes, the Lord is controlled by his devotee. This is the arrangement of the ever-watchful Leela Shakti of the Lord, which is to increase the sweetness of the pastimes and destroy all contradictions. So destroy all contradictions. I've said this 20 times in the past month. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes when there's a apparent contradiction between this statement and that statement, and if it's this statement is correct, then that statement can't be correct. And if that statement is correct, then this statement can't be correct. And you're puzzled and scratching your head. What's going on? I recommend you continue asking the question, but pull out your rasa lens and look at it through the lens of rasa. And then it can resolve the contradiction. Clear? You sure? You're the doubtful one.
I'm just thinking, Maharaj.
Yeah, I know you're thinking. You're going to ask a question at the end. We've gotten to understand one another a little bit. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not teasing. That's all. Rasa can resolve apparent contradictions. It destroys apparent contradictions. They're not really contradictions. It's just the same thing through a different rasa. Here's a nice example. It is a classic example from Scripture. The classic, one of the many classic examples is Krishna's entering the wrestling arena. Krishna just KO'd Kuvalyapita. He broke off his tusk, gave Balaram the other tusk, and they're striding into the wrestling arena with bloody tip on the other end of the tusk. And everyone's like, ooh. And they all see, there's different rasas. Read it carefully. There's the pastime, but then there's the rasa within the pastime of how they view Krishna. And it's secondary rasa, secondary rasa, secondary rasa. Sridhar Swami makes an elaborate commentary on that verse and the different rasas that are exhibited by the different persons that see Krishna entering into the wrestling arena. And it's a verse that he uses to confirm the particular variety of secondary rasas, as well as primary rasas. It's a nice verse, so it's a nice example. It's the same thing. Here's Krishna walking into the wrestling arena, and he's perceived in different ways. If it's this, how can it be that? If it's that, how can it be the other thing? And it's based on rasa. Okay. Back to the next verse. It was intolerable for Krishna to be separated from his friends. There's a secondary rasa, is compassion. Therefore, as if, seeing that this had been arranged by his internal potency, Krishna was momentarily struck with wonder, astonishment, and compassion, unsure what to do, bewilderment. What? He's omniscient. How's he can be unsure what to do? It's a rasa, it's a rasa. Vishwanath writes, seeing the boys escape from his hands, Krishna was astonished. Adbhuta rasa. At the actions of his Leela Shakti. What was the cause of the astonishment? Quote, it is not possible for these cowherd boys to have prarabdha karma, and besides, the super soul does not give them the tendency for karma. Those are two different things. Some of you have read Nectar of Devotion, so you know that there's this description of karma, and it has different stages. The first stage is a seed, bija. And then the seed starts to fructify. They can sit in a seed stage. A bag of mustard seeds considered as bag for eons. But you can also cultivate them or sprout them, seeds, like tulsi seeds or something. So then there's they start to germinate. So karma can also start to germinate. And then it's about to manifest, push itself through the soil, all about to fructify. And then there's two little leaves, this way, that way. And then keep going, and the seed becomes a plant that produces flowers and seeds. There's stages of karma. So prarabdha karma is what's happening right now, like somebody stepped on my foot. Ouch. That's prarabdha karma. But for those who are engaged in devotional service, there's no such thing. Karma is taken away. If some misfortune comes to a devotee, it's not because of karma. It's something else. And then you can look at what those something else's might be. But it's not karma. Not. And then the next statement is, supposing the karma is taken away, but the tendency is not taken away. So later then the tendency is going to come out. So super soul doesn't give the tendency for karma. So the cowherd boy, these are not nice, sadhakas. These are eternal associates of Krishna. They don't have such tendency. Because super soul is my expansion, Leela Shakti does not do anything unfavorable to me. Therefore, the Leela Shakti has made this seemingly unfavorable arrangement with the desire to put me, full of prema, into the compassionate mood, Karuna Rasa. Guess who the commentator is? You guessed it, Vishwanath. How astonishing is her control over me, the form of all rasas, the king of all leelas, Leela Purushottama. Adbhuta, wow. How wonderful is my Leela Shakti. She knows exactly how to stimulate different emotions in me. Now comes the bewilderment again. What is to be done? How could both the killing of this demon and the saving of the devotees be performed simultaneously? Because if I kill the demon, the cowherd boys are dead. They're inside this dead body and they're dead. So you can't, what to do? Krishna, being unlimitedly potent, decided to wait. That's a good choice sometimes. For an intelligent means. No, he's a source of intelligence. What's he waiting for intelligence? It's a pastime. That's how you understand it. by which he could simultaneously save the boys and kill the demon. Then he entered the mouth of the Aghasura. He knew what to do. Didn't take too long. So what did he do? Krishna saw the perfect way. Ashesha drik. Drik means to see. To enjoy pastimes and liberate the demon. To protect the devotees and destroy the rascals. He saw, this is Jiva Goswami, the unlimited calves and boys. He then entered the snake because he was overcome with affection by seeing their condition. He is called Hari because he would remove their suffering and attract their minds. He was fulfilling the meaning of his name. Isn't it a nice pastime? So here's Brihat Bhagavatamrita commenting on the same pastime. There's a discussion between Narada and Gopakumar. So many of you know about Brihat Bhagavatamrita. I don't need to give you a background. Narada speaking. I worship the pastimes he performed in the early mornings when he entered the Vrindavan forest with his calves and friends. Most relishable pastimes, such as entering the mouth of the great serpent after pondering in various ways. It's Sanatana Goswami's way of making a commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam in the form of Brihat Bhagavatamrita, which is a commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. Next verse. When Krishna entered the mouth of Aghasura, the demigods, see them up in the sky? The demigods, hidden behind the clouds, exclaimed, "Alas, alas!" Not only the coward boys, but Krishna too. But the friends of Aghasura, like Kamsa and other demons, were jubilant. They were like, yeah, keep going. When Krishna heard the demigods crying, he immediately enlarged himself within the demon's throat just to save himself and the coward boys. Now notice in the painting, there's Krishna in the mouth. There's some coward boys running around here and there, and some calves. And look at the top of his head. There's some guys popping out of the top of his head. And there's a reason. There's a reason. Here's another nice B.G. Sharma painting. They're still entering into his mouth. Krishna hasn't done him in yet. And here's another BBT painting. And here's a painting of Lord Brahma seeing the scene of all the cowherd boys sitting around having their lunch together. Back to chapter 13. Forward rather. Brahma, who resides in the higher planetary system in the sky, had observed the activities of the most powerful Krishna in killing and delivering Aghasura, and he was astonished. So 12 precedes 13. So 13 is looking back at what happened in 12, and Krishna annihilated Aghasura. Now that same Brahma wanted to show some of his own power and see the power of Krishna, who was engaged in his childhood pastimes, playing as if with ordinary cowherd boys. Therefore, in Krishna's absence, Brahma took all the boys and calves to another place. Thus, he, Brahma, became entangled, for in the very near future he would see how powerful Krishna is. So there's the boys by the bank of the river Jamuna having their lunch. The calves are starting to wander away over on the left side. Lord Brahma hid the calves and cowherd boys in a cave. It's a nice painting. And then he came back to the scene of the crime to see what's Krishna going to do. And there's Krishna having lunch with all the cowherd boys. So it was a double take. Wait a minute, I just put them in the cave, and what's going on? And then Krishna did what Krishna did. This is chapter 13. And we're almost done. Because the question that I was asked to speak about and tried to do that is it possible for Krishna to be bewildered by his own Yogamaya potency? The answer is, by his will, yes. So here's the pastime where Krishna is showing not only the calves and cowherd boys, but all the forms of Vishnu. All the Vishnu Murtis were surrounded by the opulences, headed by Anima Siddhi, so the Ashta Siddhis, by the mystic potencies, headed by Aja, and by the 24 elements for the creation of the material world, headed by the Mahatattva, personified. All of these are personified. Then Lord Brahma saw that Kala, Swabhava, Sanskara, Kama, Karma, and the Gunas, and their own independence, being completely subordinate to the potency of the Lord, had taken forms and were also worshiping those Vishnu Murtis, with prayers. This big cacophony of prayers from all these different living entities. Nija Mahimani, whose own glory. So he displayed, because Brahma wanted to see what's the extent of his power. There's no limit. There's no limit. Unlimited. And then, poof, they all disappeared. So that's it. I included something that this came from your question. There was a question when, during this whole pastime of 1 year, I went very quickly, during the pastime where 1 year Krishna had become the sons of the elders, cowherd boyfriends, mother, father, he became their son. And the calves became the calves of the cows for a whole year. Those Krishna became their calf. So this is a painting depicting, as you see on the upper right side of the painting, the cows are coming down the side of Govardhan Hill because they saw at the bottom of the Govardhan Hill was their calves, who were Krishna. So they ran down the hill. The cowherd men ran down the hill after them. Stop, with their sticks raised, but they kept going. And then when they saw their cowherd boyfriends, they forgot everything. They just embraced their sons, because their sons are Krishna. And Balaram checking out the whole scene. Oh, I get what's going on. So there was a nice question. You want to restate the question? Go ahead.
Was the cowherd boys during the 1 year period when Lord Brahma steals the cowherd boys, and Krishna duplicates himself in their forms. He is essentially, during that period of time, like playing with himself because he's alone. His friends are not there. And so during that time, is he also feeling separation, or is he covered by Yogamaya?
You got the question? Anyone unclear what the question is? Want it repeated? You're all clear. Great. You're a good audience. So here is Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur supplying an answer. Baladev is the elder brother of the cause of the universe and his dear friend, the friend of Krishna. So Krishna should have should not have deceived him, though Krishna should have revealed everything to Baladev before this. He did not, because he did not want Balaram to suffer any separation from Sridham and his other friends for that period of 1 year. Krishna himself did not suffer from any separation because he, Krishna, was close to them in an expanded form that searched for the calves. Now there's a detail that Vishwanath also says. Here's what Vishwanath also says. You ready? When Krishna understood, when Brahma was going in the wrong direction, he was going to steal. He knew he knew that Brahma was going to steal the calves and cowherd boys. Krishna knew it. So what did Krishna do? Two things. Krishna concealed the cowherd boys and calves and entrusted the cowherd boys and calves to Yogamaya. And then Krishna, it's right in the verse in the Bhagavatam, in this chapter 13. He expanded Maya cowherd boys. And those are the cowherd boys that Brahma stole. So we have two sets of cowherd boys. The original. And then Krishna in his expansion, that's what this verse is saying, or this commentary is saying. Krishna in an expanded form is searching for the cows, but he knew where they are. What's searching. It's like, Ramachandra searching for Sita. He knew. So Krishna was searching for the calves and cowherd boys. He knew, but he's searching. So Krishna wasn't feeling separation. The expanded feature of Krishna wasn't feeling separation. He was with the cowherd boys and calves, the originals. Balaram did not appear in any expanded form during this pastimes paragraph. Then, after a year passed, when the Lord desired, Yogamaya gradually withdrew her cover from Balaram. Yogamaya also returned the cowherd boys 1 year later. It was done gradually so that Baladev could take the viewpoint of the devotee and also to immerse him in the ocean of the Lord's power. That's where he's standing and seeing, oh, that's what's going on. The curtain was slowly pulled back. So pastimes of Krishna are, the storyline is nice. And, children can hear the storyline and remember the storyline and laugh and find, happiness in wonderful Krishna. And then those that have some sense of rasa and are guided by Vishwanath Chakrabarti, and then sense of rasa guided by Chakrabarti, such a commentator that understands all that needs to be understood about rasa, and he'll explain it. Okay, so there's the topic. Back to there's this opening slide. Krishna bewildered by his Yogamaya, mystery of Leela Shakti. Any comments or questions? I see a hand on the back very quickly coming up in the air.
Very grateful for you connecting us to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. It seems like a new bond or a new connection. Thank you so much. Every time you come, you take us, you connect to him in a different way. I have two questions. My first question is, when you mention about the Yogamaya potency, it is that Purnamasi is the one who stages.
Yes.
So, is that does she manifest when the Lord expands in his Vishnu Tattva form when he's killing the other demons?
She's there, but it's not Spoken,
when the Lord expands in killing the
but sp- the place in which she's not spoken about in the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's Leela Shakti or Yogamaya that's spoken. But is she there? Yes. She has her Shaktis, and her Shaktis do her bidding, and they all live happily ever after. Okay.
But the other question is the bewilderment. Is it the same bewilderment that Krishna experienced when Mother Rohini was sharing with all the queens and he takes the form of Jagannath? Or is it bewildering with?
It's Yogamaya. It's definitely this, it's Yogamaya. But, it's different features of Yogamaya. She is very versatile. Okay? Okay.
Guru Maharaj, this is a question asked by a devotee from the Troy. She said,
From the where?
from the Troy Saturday evening
From
class.
Troy, okay.
I can read the question. Like, when Chitraketu did not do any mistake, actually he praised Lord Shiva, seeing goddess Parvati sitting on his lap. Why he was gone through punishment of becoming demon
Okay,
for
okay.
no offense on his side.
Our audience today is not going to understand that question or the context of that question. So I'm happy to answer the question offline, but not in this forum.
One more question on the
On topic, yes?
on the topic. So
Okay.
So she was asking, like, if Krishna, just like how you just answered, I can read the question. Krishna did not feel separation from his friends that 1 year because he's executing his pastimes with his own expansions.
Yes.
And she's asking, how is the rasa in the relationship same, like with his
It's not
friend?
changed. It's just the same. It's the rasa is the rasa.
Yes.
They're cowherd boyfriends. And there's calves. And he has a rasa with each of the cowherd boys, slightly different. And each of the calves slightly different. But there's the general and then there's the specific. But it hasn't changed.
No, she's asking if it is Krishna who has expanded into a cowherd boy as his friends, then the rasa is between Krishna and Krishna. How
Yeah,
it will
yeah.
become?
That was expressed in the question over here.
Okay.
But it's not between Krishna and the cowherd boy. It's between the cowherd boy and the parents.
Okay.
That's the rasa.
Okay. Sure. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Maharaj.
Yes.
Maharaj, in Agasura pastime, you said there is desire of Krishna and then there is desire of the cowherd boys.
Yes.
But if you see another.
Here comes the microphone. Keep going.
Other pastime.
Which other pastimes?
Rama leaving Ayodhya or Krishna leaving Vrindavan.
Okay.
Nobody wants Krishna to leave Vrindavan. It's their desire. The devotees doesn't want Krishna to leave Vrindavan.
So he violates. He's independent. And he's increasing their love by leaving. Could you do that again? Sure. The intensity of love increases in separation. So he's permitting them to experience intensification of love through separation by leaving. So he prevails as opposed to their desire that he not leave because of his mercy. He doesn't subordinate himself to their will. He places his will above their will to increase the intensity of their love for him through separation. He's not a cookie cutter Krishna.
You said Krishna has expanded in the expanded form.
Mm-hmm.
So that means Krishna was with the cowherd boys, the original cowherd boys in Yoga.
Yeah, yeah. Here's a nice pastime. I've been it's not connected, but it's connected. So every Monday morning, in China time, it's Monday evening. I've been going through successively all the cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. We're not complete yet, but it so far it's Canto 8, middle of Canto 8. And in the churning of the milk ocean, which comes in Canto 8, churning of the milk ocean, there's multiple Krishnas. There's Krishna gives a solution to the demigods how to get their kingdom back because they've offended Durvasa Muni, because Indra offended Durvasa Muni. So he gives them a plan. But in the Leela, he becomes the tortoise, the pivot place for the churning. He gets on top of Mandra Mountain to hold it stable. He appears as one of the demigods who's pulling on the demigod side. So there's three features of Krishna in this one little pastime, but looking quite different and having a different function. But it's his pastime. And then another manifestation of Krishna appears from the churning, and that's Dhanvantari with the pot of Amrita. So he's very versatile. So back to your question. Yes, in his expanded feature, he was with the cowherd boys. He wasn't feeling separation. He was searching for them, but he knew where they were. And he was with them. An expanded feature of himself. Very mysterious, isn't it? Very mysterious. Better than Sherlock Holmes by far. Go ahead. You, the thoughtful one.
Thank you, Maharaj, for wonderfully explaining how Krishna is bewildered, and still we are bewildered, obviously. So you mentioned in the end that Balramji was still overtaken by Yog Maya for 1 year until he understood what was going on. So I was just trying to understand Balramji being himself expansion of Krishna.
But he also has a rasa. What's the rasa? He's the elder brother, so it has a mixture. It's mixed rasas. It's one of Rupa Goswami's teachings. So he has a parental type of mood, but he also is the servant, which sounds like could be contradictory. If you be the servant, how you can be the parent? But it's the elder brother type of parental type of affection, the elder brother affection. So it's a mix. It's a blend of rasas. So sometimes rasa predominates over everything. And that's what happened. Because Krishna didn't want Balaram to feel separation from his friends, Krishna covered him for a whole year. No problema.
Thank you, Maharaj.
It's a mystery, but the mystery has a solution behind you.
Maharaj, in Gaur Leela, is Krishna as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu influenced by Yoga Maya and Leela Shakti the same as he is in Krishna Leela?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
But it's different. But the action is different, but the principle is the same.
Yeah, I guess I was having a hard time understanding. Is it the Ladini Shakti that's kind of running the show, or is
No, they're not.
Yoga
Don't
Maya?
mix up names. Ladini Shakti is Radharani,
Yeah,
and that's Swarup Shakti.
yeah,
She's one of the 3 features of Swarup Shakti,
yeah.
and that's different than Yogamaya. Yogamaya is a potency by which Krishna, or through whom Krishna facilitates loving exchange.
Okay. Yeah. So it's Yogamaya that's still
They're
pulling.
not. They're part of the whole drama, but they're not the same entity.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Anyone out there? Yes. Go ahead.
Maharaj, I'm really appreciating. I feel like I've been listening to this, hearing about Brahma Vimohana Leela for, a long time, but
Yeah.
I feel like it's really getting deeper and deeper. Like I had never previously understood the three expansions concept before, and that was happening, and it really helps to make the pastime make sense.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
but I was really appreciating going deeper into the pastime, even though we've been hearing it for a long time. But
Mm-hmm.
so thank you for bringing all the commentaries and from all the different acharyas to help us go deeper in the pastime. I was also having like a series of thoughts about somebody asked a question. I don't remember who and which day, but they asked, why did Lord Brahma do what he did? And I think the response was super soul.
Yes, that's primary, and there was pride.
Mm-hmm.
And Krishna wanted Brahma to end up in this place where Brahma ended up, which is he wanted to become a resident of Vrindavan. Three things.
And so actually Krishna's really creative and amazing because whatever happens when he's involved, there's always so many different wonderful outcomes from it. And so I did start thinking, because yesterday we were hearing about Kurukshetra, the battle, Bhagavad Gita, and I was thinking, oh, what about Duryodhan? Like, because of what happened with the battle of Kurukshetra, we have Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
We could say Bhagavad Gita's always been around, but we got Bhagavad Gita, and I was like, oh, well, was Duryodhan inspired by Super Soul? But it doesn't seem like it just sounds a little silly to even say.
Brahma is a devotee and Duryodhana is a demon.
So Krishna
Sanctioned.
Mm-hmm.
Anumanta.
And whatever Krishna does, even though one can think about the battle and it's like horrendous and there was so many, one can say so many terrible things. At the same time, we have the Gita come out, and then Bhishma Dev.
Well, all those soldiers were liberated. That's another super duper. We can look at the gory battlefield with the strewn bodies, and then all the souls were liberated. Liberated. Because of the presence of Krishna. Isn't Krishna Katha nice? Besides, it's a mystery, and we all like mystery stories. But it's the unlimitedness. One of the big features is the unlimitedness. And in the prayers, I didn't get that far because there's more prayers coming up, but there's a whole section where he speaks of the limitedness of the unlimited. And he, and what scientist equals Brahma? And his mind was blown. And, someone may say, I know all about Krishna, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm a fool. It's right into his prayers. Okay, yes. You got the last question. Isn't that nice?
Thank you, Maharaj.
It's a good one, right?
Yes, it is. Maharaj, my question is, it's connected to yesterday's class on Lord Brahma's prayers. So I'm trying to go deeper in my prayers. So,
Keep it to tonight, today's topic.
okay.
Don't go into another topic because it's not fair to everybody else in the room.
Sure, Maharaj.
You can ask me separately, but don't not.
Sure, I'll ask her separately. Maharaj.
Okay.
I don't have anything else.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ah.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you.
You can't see him. He's invisible.
They have seen me a lot, Maharaj. Uma Mataji was sharing about 3 expansions. Maybe I missed the point. Can you please briefly share what are the 3 expansions?
Which one?
The 3 expansions Mataji was saying that we know 2 because one Krishna expanded himself as cows and
Oh.
the gopas.
Yeah.
Another expansion, another the original one, Brahmaji took. Which one is the third one?
No. Brahma didn't take the original. Yogamaya concealed the original,
Okay.
and then Brahma took a Maya forms, identical looking, identical.
So those are the 3 ones.
Those are the 3.
Thank you, Maharaj. And I have another question
Go ahead.
here.
Go ahead.
Maharaj, cowherd boys' parents also, they love Krishna along with their kids. So when Krishna expanded and went to their home, I mean, how they are feeling? If their love towards them is increased or?
Well, you parental affection is parental affection. They didn't love their sons less, but they loved Krishna more than they loved their sons. And they felt, because this seems to be what your question is, what did they feel? This is very amazing. Our love for our sons is like our love for Krishna. But they were seeing their sons, not Krishna. But they were seeing Krishna, not their sons. For a whole year. And then when the year was over, it was their sons again. And it's not like, oh, now I'm just feeling love for my son anymore. It wasn't a letdown. It was just, it was a reciprocation of their loving spirit towards a supreme person in parental affection. So it's one of the primary rasas. So Krishna fulfilled their desire. And that's one of the main features of Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan. He satisfies the desires of everyone, including the demons. He acts as their enemy. The Aghasura enemy, Krishna satisfied his desire, put up a big fight and let him have it. And Bakasura and so forth and so on. He's fulfilling the desires of everyone. Okay. So we'll see you again next time I come to the Detroit metropolitan area. And I'm enjoying being with all of you. I mean, including the balcony seat folks up there. I don't know where you park your cars, but I hope they're still there when you go out.
Yeah.
And here's a little piece of news. I've said it multiple times. Here's one more time. 1 week from Saturday, I'll be conducting a seminar with Tamahar Prabhu on Bhakti Sandarbha. And I spent about an hour and a half developing one of the topics that I'm going to be speaking about. And I really like the topic. And it's really relevant. And it's really sweet. And it's Jiva Goswami Ki Jai, Bhakti Sandarbha. So it's Saturday all day long. And if there's a channel, and I don't know what the channel is, but some of you can find out if you want, or recordings and see it later. And Tamahar, I've known him for so many years, many years. And his health is very bad. his wife, his health is worse than his, and but his mind is fine, and he likes Bhakti Sandarbha. So I said, let's do a seminar together. He said, yeah, let's do a seminar together. So that's what's going to happen. And I don't know what his topic is. He does, but he's that's an immersion for him. So it's it's a reciprocation of an old friendship, and I'm sure it's going to be very nice for him and for me and for the audience. And so I'm mentioning again because it's his classes as well as my classes will be nice this coming Saturday, Alashwa, same East Coast time. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.